All of you are going to regret that I have a better mic here if I start coughing.
Frank, what is that background screen you have on there? Mountain Valley?
Wolf Creek Pass in Colorado, southern Colorado.
There we go. It's a good trucking song coming down Wolf Creek Pass.
That used to be a really treacherous pass.
Yeah.
I understand they have a tunnel under the mountain now.
I just left a message on Mr. Conway's voicemail.
Send him an email as well.
Okay, will do.
Morning, Jim.
Good morning. I was muted there.
I see Mr. Conway has joined us.
I have. I'm right here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning.
We're waiting on Mr. Nations at this point.
Good morning, Frank.
Good morning. Jim, it seems like you and I are the only ones that are not fearful of the camera.
I know very few people want to turn it on.
Save you looking at my screen.
We'll give it another few minutes. We'll give it another few minutes to get Dale on.
They've officially started the recording of today's telephone.
Understood. We're holding right now. The meeting has not started. We're waiting one other commissioner.
No, I was just thinking, Frank, I think this is the first time I've seen you on one of these meetings. You weren't wearing your tie. A little more casual.
It's probably the first one in the last 15 years that I have not had a tie.
Yeah, really.
Yes, I feel downright improperly dressed. Chris, will there be anybody here from Proton Green? You're on mute. Chris, you're on mute.
Yeah, I was my mouse was trying to double click here. No, not that I'm aware of. They didn't make any indication that they would be here, although of course all of the meeting stuff always goes out to these folks, but yeah, there was no notification that they would be here.
Andrew just said that Mr. Nations is calling in now.
Okay.
Well, and Frank, I think I see Marta's.
Hey Frank, yeah, I am here. I will say I know it was Rhonda that spoke with Chris about this request, but if you have any questions, I am here to answer them.
Thank you.
Okay.
As soon as Commissioner Nation is on, we'll get started.
All right.
Good morning,
Hello.
Dale. Good morning, Dale.
Good morning. I finally got through on the phone.
Fantastic.
I'm still not on the screen, but
That's okay.
that doesn't matter that much.
We'll get started. This meeting of the Arizona Oil and Gas Conservation Commission is called to order at 10:04 a.m. This virtual meeting will continue virtually for an undetermined amount of time. The call to order, Frank Thorwald. We have Dale Nations, William Firebrand, and Michael Conway on the line, so we have a quorum. We also have Adam Stafford from the AG's office with us and a representative from the Land Department. Administrator Schmidt, would you please get started with item 2 on the agenda?
Sure. Good morning, commissioners, and good morning, everyone on the call. Happy New Year to you all. This is the first meeting of the new year, so hoping that everybody has a happy and safe New Year. Item 2A, permit extensions. The letter I, or number 1 on that, is the commission. What's up before the commission is to vote on a permit extension for the Cobalt Group. It's their well number 20-23-31, number 1. This permit was issued to Cobalt Group back on June 9th of this year, and it was set to expire on December 6th of 2023. We received notification from Mr. Scott Bowles, who's a representative for Cobalt, saying that they would like to request a formal extension of the permit for up to 6 months. They had some logistical and administrative considerations they were working on, and felt like at the time when Mr. Bowles notified me of the request, he said that they could work those out probably in the next 30 to 60 days. So I said, well, we will bring this up before the commission at this meeting. He did notify me in writing ahead of the permit expiration. So right before you commissioners is the request to vote for an additional 6 months. Now, Rule 12-7104 Part D does not specify a time frame by which permit extensions can be granted by the commission. However, I feel from in communicating with Mr. Bowles that they could wrap whatever it is up they're doing, by early February. So I don't see that the 6 month is an issue, but the commission is fully within their authority to extend it longer if they wish.
And if it expires before after 6 months, he has to reapply.
He would have to, at that point, yeah, if the permit expires, or if he would submit a extension request again before the expiration, we could probably bring that before the commission again and have you grant another extension should he need it.
So there's no limit on how many more extensions? I thought there was.
I do not see in rule. It just says in rule that it says that unless an extension is granted in writing, I would suggest that you only grant one extension. But yes, he would have to technically reapply if this permit extension expires. Correct.
Commissioners, comments, questions, discussion?
This is Commissioner Nations. I move that we grant a 1-year extension for the Cobalt permit for the Cobalt 20-23-31, number 1.
Do we have a second?
This is Mike Conway. I second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner. Moving on with that, and we'll get notice to Mr. Bowles about that commission vote. Item B on our agenda is the Proton Green asset transfer from Kinder Morgan. Back in 2021, I believe, and I know Marta's on the call here, can maybe specify any more dates if you have any questions on that. But back in 2021, there was a transfer of Kinder Morgan wells, a batch of wells that you have listed on your exhibits there, on your attachments to Proton Green. Proton Green was formerly Plateau Carbon. So at the time of the asset transfer, the company was called Plateau Carbon, but has since changed its name to Proton Green. And so therefore, things have kind of gotten lost in the wayside, and Kinder Morgan is trying to basically take care of some housekeeping and get their bond released and finalize the transfer, basically some paperwork from the commission to sign off on the approval of the transfer so that we can release the bond for them. And so before you have two attachments. One is a letter from Proton Green that specifies that they do accept responsibility of the wells that are listed on that attachment, Exhibit A, and that also they do have a bond in place with the commission. And we did check on that, and they do have a bond in place. It is current, and it does cover all of those wells.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. No, I got you.
Yeah, we do have a bond in place, and it does cover all of those wells that are listed. Huh? Rhonda?
Please mute if you're not speaking.
I missed that. Sorry.
Yes, it does cover all the wells.
Yes, and I did verify that. So commissioners, all of the wells listed on the exhibit are verified to be covered by the bond that we do have on file for Proton Green. So therefore, my recommendation would be to vote to approve the asset transfer. But of course, it's up to you to deliberate and final vote on that. But if there's any questions, I know Marta and Rhonda are here from Proton Green. So I would leave it up to the commissioners at this point.
Questions, discussion, commissioners?
Commissioner Nations here. What's the plan by Proton Green for utilization of these wells? Is it the same as Kinder Morgan had, or is there a difference of the planning for production from these wells?
I can speak to that, Dale. So Proton Green's plan is similar
Please,
to Marta Wasco from Proton Green. Sorry, Frank. Proton Green's plan for these wells is very similar to that of Kinder Morgan's. We do plan to produce CO2, but we also plan to separate out the helium percentage in these wells. CO2 will be used for beverage grade CO2 sales, and then the helium will be sold separately. So it's a little bit different in that it won't be being moved to West Texas like Kinder Morgan's plan was for tertiary recovery in oil and gas. We're looking more in the beverage grade CO2 space.
What about, this is Commissioner Thorwald, what about injection of CO2?
I mean, along with the idea of production, there's definitely in the future potential need if we need to re-inject in order to maintain reservoir pressure. We may re-inject CO2 that isn't sold, pursue the correct permits, of course, in order to do that. And then we also are part of a federal grant application for CO2 sequestration project, which is something we're exploring in the southern part of the field.
This is Commissioner Nations again. I'm a little bit skeptical about the market that you're talking about for soft drinks. It's not my problem, but that is quite a change from the Kinder Morgan plan to put it into secondary, tertiary recovery.
Well, we've analyzed the market significantly, and we're not concerned about
that. Commissioners, I just want to remind you that we have up before you just a vote on the asset transfer and not approval or disapproval of what they do with the CO2 in the market.
I understand that, but
okay.
we have the ability to consider other aspects of this as well. And I'm not criticizing it at all. I'm just saying that I'd like to know what the plan is, and we've got answers to that now. So I move that we approve the transfer of the wells on Exhibit A of this document to Proton Green from Kinder Morgan.
Do I hear a second?
Bill, second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Moving on to I2. We moved.
Commissioner Thorwald, that was it on our agenda for the two items that we had today. We would move on to item 3. Would be your chairman report.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, I'd like to talk about 2 items. One, we have submitted the first of the week to the member of the House a request to put forth some legislation to allow the Oil and Gas Commission to put into rule the fee we charge for new wells. And we've also asked that the previous restriction to $25 be taken out of statute. I have not followed up. I was sick this week and have not followed up to see where we are on that, but I will do that sometime next week and have answers for you. The other quick note from me, which is a bit frustrating, is as far as I'm concerned, we have not had any real changes to our website yet, and that still is in progress. Other than that, I don't have anything additional to report. Any questions?
Chairman Thorwald, this is Mike Conway. I have one question about the oil and gas. I have a question about the oil and gas viewer. I understood that it had been updated and improved, and I wondered if there had been a note sent out regarding what that update was or how it was improved.
Staff, do you have any updates on that?
Right now, Commissioner Conway, is that we are in the process of still updating. I'm not sure that what the communication was that it had been updated. I know we've been working on a lot of fronts on the website, and actually, we just got word from Ms. Wilson here that the coding and everything has been done. It's been tested in a development environment, and now they're going to be working with us on the content end of things. So we are one more step closer to launch on things. And I have finally seen a screenshot of what the page looks like, and it's a very nice, clean version of the site. But as far as the viewer is concerned, we are still working a little bit more on the mapping and viewing functions of some of that. So I'm not sure what update you were referring to exactly. That it's not already made. It's not already up to the website there yet. It'll probably go with the launch of the new one. But we can find out a little more for you. I'm just not familiar with what was communicated to you.
No, that's fine, Chris.
Okay.
Any do you have a time frame for when the new site will be exposed?
Well, we're hoping to kind of jump on some of the content as quickly as we can and then get it launched. So I think it's ready to be tested. So we'll see. We'll check in with Ms. Wilson on when we think we can get that done. But I can't give you a definitive time frame, but we're hoping as soon as we can. Yeah, and so when we know, definitely we can always let the commissioners know for sure.
Chris, if you need a beta tester, I'd be happy to assist in that.
That sounds great. Yeah, we're going to need you all to be beta testers. So when it gets going, and then of course your feedback and input from all of you on the content that we want to see move to the new website too as well. So we'll be reaching out about some of that stuff as we move forward. Yeah.
Also, I should mention that the proposed rule changes have been submitted to the Secretary of State's, and we'll be having public meetings over the course of the next months to see where we move for that. Chris, do you have any more on that?
Yeah, I know that we did the notice of docket opening, and so yes, we are moving. We're gathering our list of stakeholders together. We've already done some preliminary got some preliminary stakeholder feedback early on, but we're developing our list now and pulling it together, a master list, so we can go ahead and start setting up those meetings. So I would imagine over the course of February we'll do that. We'll start to get some word out to the stakeholders and let them know about some of the changes that are coming with the rule, but then have some more definitive meetings virtually, maybe in person, and some other types of stakeholder type meetings. So, yeah.
Have we sent that out to the other commissioners so they know what's been presented to the Secretary of State?
Holly, I'm not sure. Did we copy the commissioners on the docket opening?
No, I only sent it to Frank.
Okay. So we'll see that the commissioners get a copy of that.
Any other? Go ahead.
I'll do that.
Any other questions on what I brought up? Hearing none, let's go on to call to the public. Is there anybody that would like to address the commission?
Frank, this is Joe Dixon for the State Land Department there. Dale had asked about the unitization and the unit agreement, and we had the unit agreement in place there with Kinder Morgan since about, I think, 2009. Shortly after the sale there to Proton Green, we went ahead and got the unit agreement put in the name of Proton Green, or it might have been Plateau Carbon at the time, but we got that taken care of. And plus, we had extended it for another 5 years, so that's now good through, I think it's 2027. Of course, once they get into production, then the unit agreement just, keeps going as long as they're producing. So one thing we do need from them, though, is a new plan of development, kind of, what they're going to do with the field and all that. 'Cause like they say, originally the plan was the CO2 and pipe it down to the Permian Basin across New Mexico. Of course, that's changed a little bit now there too. So we'll need an updated plan of development from Proton Green for that.
Okay. Any questions? Any other comments from the public? Hearing none. Do we have any announcements? Moving on to item 6. I will only make the announcement that I will sign these agreements and get them back to staff following this meeting. Anything we want to add to a future meeting agenda? Hearing none, moving on to item 7. It is 10:23 a.m. and this meeting of the Arizona Oil and Gas Conservation Commission is concluded. Thank you all for attending.
Thank you, Frank.
Commissioners. Have a good one.